Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Okay guys, let's take a look again on the cryptocurrencies. Today is Thursday, and on the cryptocurrencies we have a bit tricky price actions because those of you who have watched our video on Monday, we in general were considering potential bullish pattern, although we have said, and every time we tell that overall environment on the cryptocurrencies now is not very good for long-term investing. We think that the background for a bullish price action for starting of the new long-term bullish trend is not ready yet, and maybe it will not be ready through this year. But sometimes, from time to time, we are watching for some scalp and short-term bullish context that might be used because some of our forumers are trading on intraday charts, and if when this downward action just has started, we have warned you that it would be better to wait for strong support areas. Once these areas have been reached, we said, well, at least it's something you could try to do this. Well, and but currently it was a bit different, really tricky performance because of these downward actions. You will see a bit later on the lower time frames. Market actually has ignored major support areas and major targets, and patterns have been erased. But now, suddenly, it has turned to the upward action. And the question is whether this is the starting of the pullback that we have discussed, or this is something different. And just by looking forward, I will say that this is different. So in general, this action has no relation to the setup that we discussed on Monday. And mostly this action is based on a few moments. First of all, it was more or less stable statistics in the United States. Inflation was high, but it losing the upward pace, or at least let's call it as temporarily. So at the current moment, inflation was more or less according to the expectations. That has triggered the pullback on the cross markets. So if we'll take a look at the dollar index, it's shown some retracement yesterday. The same on the interest rates. Interest rates actually has to show this pullback even earlier, and that it's just starting right now. It's a bit surprising because market is very strongly overbought on all time frames. But anyway, we see some pause and rising on interest rates as well. As you could see, correspondingly on the stock market, this is gold. So on the stock market, on the S&P, we also has got some bounce recently. And as we know, the cryptocurrency currently behaves very close to the performance of the stocks, and actually investors treat the cryptocurrency in the same way as it treats the stock market. That resulting is a pullback on the dollar, on the Bitcoin as well. But if you will take a closer view, what we have on the 4-hour time frame chart and on the hourly chart first. So this was our targets. Recall what we talked about. This was ABCD pattern, XOP, and we were considering this free drive pattern. We said around 41, it should be the context for taking the long position, because here is the third drive. This is confluence. This is XOP, and market should start reaction if it has at least some bullish sentiment on the market. But as you can see, what has happened, market totally ignored this area with a collapse right back down. No reaction at all, although this was very strong support area. And now, as other markets turns to retracement, market, while it has hit 618 support here, starting the bounce. So it means that current performance, it is not inner bullish sentiment of the cryptocurrencies, but this is just a result of the performance of the rivals. Since the Bitcoin is trading to the dollar, dollar stands on a retracement, that's the same stance on the Bitcoin. So with the weaker dollar, with the weaker interest rates, Bitcoin turns some pullback. And currently, we think that we should not be deceived by this performance and suggest that this is something really bullish. This is just a technical result, the byproduct of the retracement on other markets. This is our conclusion. So it's just because of the performance. If Bitcoin intends and actually was showing the reaction on the XOP and the support, we would say yes, this is coming from Bitcoin itself, but currently it's not quite so. Besides it, you can see before the weekend, when the market already has reached this ABCD XOP target, mostly is 41.67. Well, currently I do not see really good background for taking the long position. Personally, I would even start watching for resistance levels since 42.25, 44 as a potential levels for taking the short position with the downward continuation. Because this is, guys, it's really very important sign what is really going on the Bitcoin market and what sentiment market has right now. Still, if you're a trader on intraday charts and you consider taking the long position, just keep watching for the patterns. If market somehow will show something greater and better around this support when the market stands, this 618 support, beside of this upward action. So maybe some pattern will be forming here. So just watch for the patterns. If the bullish pattern will be formed here, you could try to take the long position, especially if you will see the corresponding performance on the dollar index and 10-year yield. We'll return back to this question on Monday as well, when we are preparing the next update on the Bitcoin. But currently, at this point, definitely it's not good for taking the long-term bullish position, and it's not, well, currently for a scalp position, it's a bit, for taking the long position, short-term long position, it's also you need to wait for something else, for something greater. Because as some minor pullback already is done, the risk exists that market will just keep going lower on next week as traders return back after the holidays and starts to forming new positions with the current economical environment that we have. So this is what we have currently on the cryptocurrencies.